Every LEGO fan has heard of the brutal blight of brittle brown, those pesky brown bricks that snap in half if you so much as look at them.
But with so much discourse surrounding brittle brown bricks, many of the other brittle colors and elements slip by unnoticed, despite being worthy of equal infamy. So, why do brittle bricks exist? What are all those different colors and types? How can you tell if something's about to break? Should I stop obsessing over a children's toy? Answers to all these questions and less coming up.
Brittle bricks are what they sound LEGO bricks that break way easier than they should.
Obviously, no brick is going to be indestructible, but use a brick separator on a tan 2x6 and you're not going to cause any damage. Use it on a brown 2x6 from around 2010 and you're likely to end up with something like this. Or more like a shattered mess of nothing with one stud in the grave.
The problem with brittle brown and its equally brittle cousins, as I'm sure you're wondering by now, lies in the dyes. You see, in the early 2000s, the LEGO Group decided that what it had been doing was bad, so it had to make changes to be good. And most of these changes were made for the better, but one, so it turns out, was much, much worse. Light gray, dark gray, and brown all got a color swap around 2004, much to the chagrin of castle mock builders everywhere. And while this worked out swimmingly for the new light bluish gray and dark bluish gray pieces, reddish brown was determined to break that trend. You see, the dyes responsible for the new reddish brown color didn't mix well with ABS plastic and weakened the chemical structure of the bricks, and that's kind of a problem when your entire product is ABS plastic.
Thing is, this doesn't start to happen until the bricks are a few months or even years old, so any strength testing that was done beforehand likely would have come up clean. And it wouldn't be until some poor sap went to disassemble his MTT that the bricks would start to break.
Despite the immense scrutiny that Brittle Brown faces from fans, which is almost certainly more due to its snappy nickname than its prominence in literally every cool set from 2004 to 2019, Brittle Brown is not the only evil color in the LEGO catalog. I naively disassembled my Samurai X set thinking that nothing could go wrong, and turns out, I was wrong.
Dark red from this era is equally brittle and features in only slightly less incredible sets.
Based on this, you're probably thinking that there was just something horrifically wrong with this red that they were injecting into the doomed pieces. And while that is a strong theory for why these pieces suck so bad, it's not the red.
Dark green is brittle too.
So it's the dark colors, you aptly suggest. And yes, it is.
Unfortunately for this pufferfish's golden hat, so is pearl gold.
And if we jump back to a faraway time known as the 1990s, we'll find that the decade is harboring a brittle color of its own. Blue. But why blue? It's not very dark and it's not very gold. And, well, the answer is, who knows? But soon after blue was remedied in the early 2000s, reddish brown, dark red, dark green, and gold all got stuck with the brittle.
And this isn't limited to standard bricks, despite my limited examples so far. Minifigs and other creatures are just as susceptible. I am genuinely terrified to move this horse's legs, so he is eternally stuck in a gallop. When it comes to minifigures, all these same colors are at risk, and Newt Gunray's exploded legs are as far as I'm willing to go to illustrate this point, because the minifigs are as cool as the sets they come in. Thankfully, with minifigs and horses, it's very easy to test for brittleness by testing for stiffness. So for example, if we move Palpatine's legs here, you can see they're a little stiff, but they're moving just fine. He's not going to break anytime soon. But with Ree-Yee's, if I put in the same amount of force, these legs do not budge. Ree-Yee's is very close to breaking, and if these legs move even just like half a centimeter, they're probably going to explode. And when it comes to bricks, especially plates and tiles, just assume the worst, and you'll probably be right.
Thankfully, around 2019, the LEGO Group finally figured out a fix for its brittle dye problem. So any reddish brown, dark green, dark red, and gold elements produced after 2019 are safe from this gnarly curse. You're even able to request free replacements for bricks that brick on LEGO.com, albeit in small quantities. Though a lot of brittle elements from that era are no longer produced in those colors, which means you have to replace them with bricks from that era, which is like putting a band-aid on a stab wound. And thus, even with the likes of modern reddish brown, dark green, dark red, gold, and yes, even blue, now of respectable quality, the reality of brittle brown and other brittle colors still lingers for those who own sets of this era, and for those who bravely purchase a UCS sandcrawler and disassemble it to clean. Do you have any experience with brittle LEGO bricks? Have you ever had a minifigure's leg shatter in your hands? Feel free to tell us about it in the comments. And consider subscribing to Blocks. We cover all the latest LEGO news, as well as all sorts of fun topics just like this. Thanks for watching.